being in a boxing match obviously is a fairly vulnerable thing in front of a lot of people. You know how during the introductions, boxers hop back and forth from foot to foot to sort of stay warm?
Yeah.
Mike Ryan's been doing that all morning, and I think it's just because he's so polluted that he's trying to get all the liquor out from this weekend. I don't think he's going to make it to tonight. I think he's going to get there crawling. Lucy might be hurting too, but that might just be because she's back in Miami and doesn't like being here.
No comment.
Mike, what was your weekend like?
Fantastic, Dan. It's been great. Playing host, college football world here. I just hope they take it easy on us. It's, greatest team of all time. I said a lot of prayers last night, hoping that we can just stay in this. Make it a 4-quarter game.
I just saw on my TV screen on Get Up, I saw the question. It was on the graphic. Does home field advantage matter for Miami? What kind of question is that? Like, what kind of question is that?
Do they have home field advantage? Everyone staying in this hotel right now is an Indiana fan.
Yeah, you know what?
And I can tell because they keep trying to have conversations with me in the elevator.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that I haven't seen a single Miami fan staying at this hotel.
But there have been Indiana fans at every bar we've gone to. All the events has been. I think it's going to be more even than it's like obviously portrayed with it being an actual home game for Miami.
I think they're actually going to be shocked at how not home gamey this is going to feel for Indiana. They thought that they were going to fly into this town because no one on my plane is a Miami fan. It's crazy. And they're going to be hit in the mouth by not just the football team, but by the crowd.
I don't think it's going to be a home game for Indiana, but I also don't think it's going to be like 70-30 Miami.
All right, I just don't care what anybody thinks.
Well, that's not new.
I don't feel like you have the right attitude today. We need to put positive energy out.
That's not.
Dave Damashek called me
what you
Finland.
put out.
He called me Finland.
Why did he call you Finland?
That's how America regards the U right now. I'm not saying that that's what I think. I am trying to personify the thoughts of most of football America in advance of this big game.
And we have 5 of these? We have 5 of these.
I think it's terrific, and I'm happy for you, but let's harken back to...
All right, I don't care. I don't care.
Let's harken back to that first one where you began in the Orange Bowl against a team number 1 in the nation with the Heisman Trophy winner in tow, wearing red and white as they paid visit to Miami.
All right, I like harkening so far.
Right, and Bernie Kosar did it. Our guy kind of looks like Bernie Kosar. We have Jesus on our side, as we've already established.
We have 10,000 Jesuses on our side. They're all going to be in the stands.
I got to say, I've seen what the Le Batard social handles have been doing there, and quite frankly, I think it stacks up to sacrilegious. We already have said what's that. I know that Carson Beck likes to go double crosses on the cheeks. It's a little obsequious in my opinion. But either way, what was it like, Dan? Were you physically in attendance at the Orange Bowl back in 1983, on January 2nd, 1984?
How am I already tired of him talking?
Get out of town!
Football is back, Jack. Oh my, we've waited for so long. We're so damn excited that we put it in a song. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. Keep your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control, and we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this This game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack. Fake break camera show.
Bro, we only got 30 more minutes.
Fake break camera show.
They don't got the energy we got, bro. They don't want it how we want it, bro.
Por tu madre. Biggest game in 20 years. Oh.
Cookies, always cookies. Some boys ain't work how we work. They ain't feel how we feel. They ain't cry how we cry, gang.
Hello. Guess where we're doing the party? We're doing it at Bird Bowl.
Let's go!
Aquí vamos a ver de verdad quién es el cubano arrepentido.
You what now?
How Cuban are you, okay?
Is talco and baby powder the same thing?
Yes, you doofus.
All right.
What kind of Cuban are you?
Smart money's right here. Put your life savings in the teams.
Oye, los huracanes.
Stop being a homo, bro. I love you, Miami.
Billy Corbin.
Fake break camera show.
I'm not totally sure, but I think Zaz is guilty of cultural appropriation.
What?
I also think that's allowed just tonight for these 12 hours.
Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Zaslow says that tonight can be a forever night, but there's only one result that produces that as a forever night here, right? Like it could also be a forever night for Indiana, right?
Nah, no one will remember that.
I don't think you have that accurate. We've got our biases here. If anyone's just listening to the show, they don't understand how Miami is between a 7.5 point or an 8.5 point underdog. Does that line feel right to you, Lucy? Does it feel right to you, given that Miami doesn't get blown out? And I wouldn't give them a touchdown against anybody in the country. They were a 9.5 point dog against Ohio State, and we saw how that went.
I would say that it felt right originally in the aftermath of what Indiana did to Oregon, because that was such a beatdown and Indiana looked so dominant. Obviously, the line has dropped. I think that's an appropriate reaction because, like, it is in Miami's home stadium. Like, this is... I think it's going to be closer than people realize, but I also understand that if you have most people are just watching Indiana for football for the first time ever. The first time they saw Indiana play was against Alabama.
Including Indiana fans.
And so you're most likely looking at those two results and saying, this is the best football team I've ever seen in my life, where Miami has had, looked great in the playoffs, but they're not playing games like that. So I think it's just sort of an overreaction without the context of what Indiana has looked like this whole year, where people are talking about them, and something we sort of talked about before the show of like the greatest team ever. If you watch them this season, they had a lot of close games that could have gone another way.
One of them you were at, I think, at Iowa. Were you not at that?
We did not go to that one, but that one was their closest. If my sweet Mark Gronowski had not gotten hurt, Indiana would have a loss. That hurt a lot. We played a lot better than them, but it's cool. I've gotten over it. It's fine.
How shook is Indiana going to be when the Canes go up 14-0?
That's how you have this going. Indiana's president, Pamela Whitten, has said,
What'd she say?
Not shocked or surprised by this season. Come on, lady. Like, come on, lady. Like, what are you doing? How can you say that? Lucy, what are you shrugging your shoulders about? You can't say that if you're the president of Indiana. You can't think it if you're the president of Indiana.
That they're not shocked? She said she's not shocked?
Not shocked or surprised that it was the goal. That the goal was to win the championship. And it makes me think the president of Indiana doesn't know anything about football.
They did make it to the playoffs last year, and they only lost 2 games last season. So I don't actually think that's that ridiculous of a statement, because that going into this season, the big narrative for Indiana was it a fluke or was it, truly something that's sustainable?
They were 100-1 betting odds. 100-1.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like Indiana is so historically bad at football that like you need more than a 1-year sample size to buy in, and they've proven that. So I actually don't think that's that ridiculous of a statement. If she had said this last year, I'd be like, girl, you are out of your mind. That is insane. But the fact that they went to the playoff last year, they were a very good team last year. Yeah, I don't think it's ridiculous to say. I'm not shocked that they took a step up.
It's more than a step up.
You know who else was a basketball school? The United States of America, going to the Olympics in advance of the 1980 Winter Games, and then they vanquished the mighty Soviet Union. And then there was a little bit of hash to be settled on the other side of that, and they were called Finland. That's what Miami is. The basketball school that is Indiana University is now the feel-good story of these United States, all of football America, save perhaps Florida Gator alum Zaz and some of his pals down here in South Beach are rooting for the team wearing orange. Otherwise, you are Finland to the rest of football America. You are in the way of the final chapter of the feel-good story that is the Indiana Hoosiers, led by Fernando Mendoza and Coach Sig from Pittsburgh, PA.
I like how Dave thinks I have friends in South Beach.
What that's
my crew.
That's how much the rest of football America knows between South Beach and all the rest of this vast
Zaslow,
land.
do
called
you have
Miami.
any theories as to why it is that Mike has to leave today's show early for a game that's at 7:30
I'm going
p.m.
also
tonight?
Yeah.
Lucy's going as well, and Mike's the only one that has to leave early.
Mike's leaving in like 5 minutes.
Yes.
Why?
It's a Canes thing. You just don't understand.
Okay, that's not that's not true.
You want to say an affair?
I'm not doing this with you today, all right? Especially while I'm decked out in Canes gear. Dan didn't recognize me when he got here this morning because I'm wearing a bandana.
I thought it was Luther Campbell. I thought he got here early.
He didn't recognize me. But I'm not doing this with you today, all right? Today, it's all about the U. I'm all about the Canes. Am I going to wear this while I'm on the air at ESPN today at 3 p.m. Eastern time? Maybe. You'll find out. How should I wait to see?
I don't think you will.
We'll
I don't
see.
think you're brave enough to do it.
You don't think I got the guts?
No. You're saying it's all about the you. With Mike, it's always about the me, as you know. So he's leaving.
What? I don't understand. The gates open at, 11?
You chew on that line over the weekend, boss?
No, just thought of it now. I was sober all weekend, unlike you, who was polluting himself all parts, all over.
Yeah. You were sober.
All over. Well, not anyone on South Beach was. They had a free Calvin Harris concert. They should never do those for free. That should never be something that you do for free because there were just bodies stacked on top of bodies, all of them holding each other by the hair, throwing up in the street.
We break into free events around here.
Yeah, we find a way.
You guys feel it all over town, correct? You feel that this thing is here because I was thinking the Panther thing was obviously and is obviously enormous, but I don't know that it saturates both counties or all three counties the way that this does because it's so generational, and it also crosses across cultures because of what a god football is in this country.
I mean, this is why I said, and I'm not joking. This has a chance to be a forever night. I'm so excited for my city and for my friends and for everyone who has waited so long for this. And you're right. It could be a forever night no matter what, but I don't give a shit about Indiana, all right? It's a forever night for us here in Miami. So it's super exciting to wake up this morning knowing this could be one of the best nights of your life. That's what you have now. It's a great day.
I do think it's bigger for Indiana because they've never done anything like this before, though, right? Okay. I'm glad we talked about this.
I'd like to say I think it's a cagey move by Zaz to do the Luther Campbell cosplay because if he stripped that away, he would represent what Miami is, again, to football America. Lex Luthor. That's what you are to the vast majority of college football fans right now. You are the villain in the way of the nice hero
You think
story.
that's somehow a put down. Miami wants to be the villain. Miami, this goes across all of our sports. Miami loves being the villain. See, now we're in our wheel. You just put us in our wheelhouse, Dave. That backfired.
You think the darkness is your friend. Zaz has already was born
Someone else's gimmick.
You were trying to make a fun point here. That backfired on you. Congratulations.
Lucy, what do you have planned today? Because we've got a ton of people in town. They're going to be working all day today. We're going to be doing a live watch party throughout the game tonight at 7:30 p.m. What do you have planned, Lucy? And again, I want an answer to my question as to why it is Mike has to be out there and has to leave the show early while Zaslow and Lucy, who as far as I can tell are going to be doing work for media establishments over the next few hours, are not leaving early.
In Mike's defense, my schedule right now has allotted 3 hours for me to get to the game. I'm very nervous about traffic. I'm very nervous about a certain individual deciding to make an appearance at this game. So I don't know who it is. Not somebody.
Michael Irvin?
Yes, it was him. That's exactly it. But so we've allotted a lot of time in traffic. We're going to get there early. We're going to catch the vibe. And maybe I'll talk to you on the live show, but maybe not. I don't want to make any promises.
He must be a pretty big diehard for the Canes because he not only is wearing orange, he is orange.
Got his ass.
So Damashek is going to be on the live stream as the voice of Indiana, the lonely voice of Indiana.
There's going to be another Indiana voice. My dad.
Your dad's been invited now? Your dad your dad has accepted the invitation?
Yeah, because he's like, where should I go watch the game, son? I'm like, I don't know, bar? Like, he texted me the other day. He's like, hey, where can I buy UM stuff? You know, do you think they'll have UM stuff at Dick's? I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, they didn't have any Indiana stuff because he wants to buy both. Because, you know, like he'll root for he'll be happy, Cristobal, and the fact that his son obviously has like basically one passion in life, and it's the Miami Hurricanes. But he's a Mendoza guy. You'll find out together. Also, you guys watch him. I'm not dealing with those texts. Guy wants to try to talk ball to me. I'm like, yeah, shut up.
We could just have him call Mike throughout the game. It'll be fun.
It's going to be nice at night's end. You guys are all going to say, like, it's cool to see the local Cuban guy holding the national championship giant joint. That's a nice consolation prize.
I have seen the old retro UM jackets all over town because it's an unusually cold day around here. That is not a normal thing in South Florida. It is everywhere this weekend where the retro, the Luther Campbell video jackets that 2 Live Crew was making videos with when they were celebrating the University of Miami and bringing Miami to the world. We've got Tony out in the field again today, and he's going to be live tonight. This part's going to be crazy at Dead Flamingo. That's going to be nuts over there. As that's nuts under normal circumstances. That's nuts on the weekend around small sporting events. I can't even imagine what it's going to be tonight. So, Tony, give us the report on what it is you're going to be doing out there tonight. It's basically, I feel like everybody who's going to be watching the live stream tonight is only going to be watching to see us crestfallen. I think the best result for the people viewing is us being sad because they're annoyed by the show we've been doing for the last week and the last 20 years.
Hello, Daniel, Jonathan, everybody who's there at the studio. Glad to be reporting today from Calle Ocho. Yes, we are in front of Dead Flamingo. And I don't know if you understand this, Dan. Yes, the people want to see everybody crestfallen. They want to see the show in tears. But everywhere you step today in Miami is a war zone. Every single step. Anybody that's walking around understands what we're under right now. Okay, we are under threat of the entire nation laughing at us. We are under threat of losing the biggest game in the 2000s. Okay, there's nothing bigger than what we are right now. Mike Ryan, I'm glad to see you there. I'm excited to see you at the national championship. I will not be there, but you'll be boots on the ground. Dan, we're in the middle of a war, Dan, and you're laughing. And you're
I think
happy.
you need to stop with the war terminology, given what's going on in the world.
I don't think you understand what we're doing.
Keep it going.
Yeah, what's going on in the world right now? Hard Rock against Indiana versus Miami, Dan. That's what's going on in the world right now. I think you're a little bit too myopic. All right, you got to zone in and figure out what's going on just about 25 miles north of you. All right, you need to lock in right now. You're a little bit too happy for a game day. You need to be pissed, Dan. You know what? Because they want to come and take what we got. Okay, they want to take. We got 5 national championships. Guess how many they have? 0. Okay, we want a 6th. They want 1. They're trying to take it from us, Dan. You're not ready for that, apparently.
Well,
Jonathan, get this guy, man.
I do appreciate that your energy level is better than it started because you came in real sedated. You came in real sleepy for the biggest.
Jonathan. No, it's not a sedated, Dan. It's not a sedated thing. It's a getting everybody focused thing. Okay, it's a getting everybody in the same lockstep. Okay, So, yes, we're going to be live at Dead Flamingo tonight at 6 p.m. The show starts around 7, and then the game starts at 7:30. We'll be rocking here. Just on an MMA nights, this place is absolutely packed and slammed. Tonight, there's probably going to be an overflow. We got things in the back here. Cayocho is going to be absolutely lit. From there, I'm bringing my cazuela with me, okay, to have it on deck so that we could just go and party once we take that ass.
Okay.
Oh, it's my gimmick, but you can use it today.
He's borrowing it today. Okay. Thank you, Tony.
No, finally, you show up. Finally, you show up. Zaz, where you been? I just asked you for 3 times to get this guy under control, and you've been silent like a mouse.
Show started 20 minutes ago. You can't carry a segment on your own. We can throw it to you for 2 minutes. You're asking for my help?
I can't. Because you're part of the team, no?
I am part of the team. The show started 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
I gave you a platform here.
So when I throw you an alley-oop, you slam it down on Dan's head.
How about
That's how we do this
How
here.
about you handle your business?
Buddy, I have been. I'm here, 10 toes down, in the streets right now.
Boots on the ground.
Okay?
It's a
You're
war.
you're sat up.
All
You're
right.
sat up with, I don't even know what you look like today.
You know what?
Are you wearing a guayabera today?
You know what I
walked
look
in?
like. You know what I look like.
Unfortunately.
Okay, that's enough. Settle down, boys. It's too early for that. Pace yourself the way that Tony did at the beginning of the
Let's
segment
go.
by sounding sedate.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
All right, get to La Casa de los Trucos, please. I want a live
What?
hit.
Okay.
I want a live hit from La Casa de los Trucos, the most famous and oldest
Again?
costume shop in America.
Do you think they're going to be open this time?
Yes, 10 a.m. they open.
They told me 10 o'clock.
I asked them
Yep,
to open
10 a.m.
early for Tony. Yes, they're going to be open. I want Tony in costume. Get over there, and he'll be tonight. He'll be at the Dead Flamingo if you want to spend any time with Tony. The show will be out there. The show is going to be in a lot of different places tonight. Lucy, are you feeling confident in the Wi-Fi? Because we're going to be getting reports from you and Mike and Zaz, Wi-Fi permitting, but I don't have confidence in the Wi-Fi. Put on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you ever have confidence in the Wi-Fi if you're trying to use it at a stadium full of people?
No, that's why I said maybe, because I don't want to make any promises that I can't deliver. And I know that everyone's like, I wasn't going to tune into the live stream, but now that Lucy's there, I'm absolutely going to. True. But now they're not going to come because they've heard about the Wi-Fi. I'm really sorry. I've just ruined this whole thing.
Everyone going to the game is terrified to reach out to us during it. My dad's going. I'm like, you going to check in with us? He's like, I got an email that we can't. I'm like, what about just call us? I think the only thing we're going to get from people in the stadium is a phone call. I don't think they want anyone doing any kind of live hit to join us. So if we get people, it will be via phone only.
I think Lucy got in trouble one time. I don't know what stadium she was at, but all of a sudden one of our former employees was flying a drone, and that was like, it's illegal NCAA airspace, and we got into all sorts of trouble because we were flying a drone around.
Oh, yeah, that broke like federal law. That was different. We're not bringing a drone to the national championship game. We want to make that very, very clear, but you
How
also...
about a plane? I want to bring a plane to the national championship game.
Oh,
Can we bring a
Dan.
plane? I'd like to use a plane and fly it around the stadium.
We'll work on
The way
it.
you use your money is so weird to me.
Our money. It's our money.
You sound like my family.
Let's fly. We're going to fly a plane at some point this evening. I want to talk about some of the sports stuff, though, and without getting too heavy in the analysis, I wanted to ask you guys for your opinion. Mario Cristobal said something that I agreed with. It's not just because I'm biased, though I can be accused of it. At the end of the Ole Miss game, Miami secondary was super depleted, injured guys, and Xavier Lucas had left the game for a really questionable targeting call. And Mario Cristobal is saying correctly the idea that Lucas can't play the first half of this game when that questionable call, which was clearly done without intent at all, Zaz, like obviously not intent. And I don't know, I saw in the Bills game that we're going letter of the law on rules, and there's no reason to have arbiters if you're going to do it that way. If you're going to do everything by letter of the law, there's no reason to have human beings applying subjective logic to something we all saw was a catch that turned into an interception. But Xavier Lucas lost the last half of that game. Miami secondary was a mess in the fourth quarter, like confused timeouts, because they had a bunch of guys out there that aren't used to playing. And I think Mario Cristobal is right when he says it's wrong that Xavier Lucas has to sit out the first half of a championship game for something that was just a decision made in a moment, and the receiver put his helmet down and it got him hit in the head.
The thing with targeting is, like, if you have a hit like that, I think a 15-yard penalty is fine. But the way I feel like you have to look at it is like the way the government looks at, like, is it art or is it porn? Like, you know, when you see targeting and you're like, oh, that was bad. That was a hit you shouldn't have made. That was worth a potential ejection. I think that hit was not worthy of that. I think that hit should not prohibit anyone from playing in the national championship game. So I think you just have to adjust how you look at it.
I hate the targeting rule. Like, I think Lucy's right. It's a 15-yard penalty, and 15 yards is a very punitive penalty. And then we're throwing him out not just for the rest of that game, but also the first half of the next game. I mean, if there's no way that you could say that he did it on purpose. Maybe you think so. There's no way to know. And so you get the penalty, and you essentially get a suspension. I hate it. It doesn't seem fair.
That's...
Per Ian Rappaport, the Bills are moving on from head coach Sean McDermott after their loss in the divisional round to the Broncos.
Not surprising.
No, they had to.
Not surprising.
A lot of wins on that resume. He's probably the winningest coach over that period, I would think, because you guys have seen the stats over the last 6 years, right, on the Bills. Over the last 6 years, the Bills are number one in points scored, number one in least points allowed. That makes them number one in point differential, but it's not just number one in point differential. They're plus 900 in point differential. No one else is plus 600 in point differential.
That's crazy. More on that on Friday.
Well, they just did the breaking news thing.
I know, yeah. It was worth mentioning.
Nothing stopped. Nothing
stops. You got
stops.
me for 15 more minutes.
No, don't threaten us.
Yeah. Why were Big Ten officials doing the Fiesta Bowl? Because that game was going to determine who was playing a Big Ten opponent. And if you want to put on your conspiracy hat, Big Ten, Wisconsin, Xavier Lucas, tied up in litigation, suing. I didn't feel great about that. I didn't like seeing the Big Ten officials on the game that would directly impact a Big Ten team's title chances. But
what kind of officials are tonight?
I think it's the ones from the Texas A&M game.
Not Big Ten.
Big 12.
I'm curious about where everybody feels Lucy's rooting interest should be as a rival, a Big Ten rival of the Indiana Hoosiers. The referees might be incented to see the conference do well, although what we end up seeing usually is that they don't want that stink of you're biased in favor of your conference. So, in fact, they make calls to disprove that they're biased. That is the way things end up going. But in this case, Lucy, are you on the side of with 98% of Football America on the side of the feel-good story that is Fernando, Coach Sig, and the Indiana Hoosiers?
I root for my conference, which I know is
Weird.
Not something that people do.
Odd.
No, and I get that it's odd, but there is my team. There is a direct incentive for Indiana to win. Yeah. We get more money because Indiana wins. It's better for my conference. It makes my team look better.
Isn't that like Miami rooting for FSU?
No, but no, because Iowa and Indiana, we are in the same conference, but we're not rivals.
What do you get? A piece of the action? Don't fall back on some intellectual. It's good for the program ultimately in the long term. What's your heart? What's your gut tell you? Of course, this is they defeated you. You should want to see them get defeated now.
No, because it makes me look better. Yeah. And my team was the team that was the closest to beating them. Yeah, I think. And I mean, no one's thinking like about Iowa in this situation, and they shouldn't be. But there is a financial incentive for my favorite team.
But it doesn't make Indiana you look better, though.
I mean, if Iowa lost to a team that lost the national championship or a team that won the national championship, like, it's not that big of a deal. But, like, I also like Signetti. I think it's a cool story. There's a lot of things that go with it. Also, I just, like, you guys know I didn't really like living in Miami, and that sort of, like, poured out into a hatred of all Miami teams. Across the board. The Dolphins, the Marlins, hell, the Miami Club volleyball team don't like them.
You like the Cyclones, though.
Do you think...
I love them. I love them so much.
I remember your preseason predictions where you said we were going to be bad.
Yeah, and I came out and said I was wrong.
Yeah.
I have no problem being
Just
wrong. It doesn't happen to me that often.
Hating-ass hater.
You guys are in agreement with me, independent of the biases as it relates to what Cristobal was saying about Lucas. We're all in agreement, right, that the targeting penalty should be something that has a measurement that's by degrees, that it's not the same penalty for every single targeting, that there should be some sort of arbiter saying, well, that clearly wasn't intentional. Didn't Denzel Perriman, can you guys look this up for me, please? Did Denzel Perriman basically get suspended 2 games from the NFL on the Chargers simply for playing football way too violently? Like, just was basically Vontaze Burfict, where in the
you know how to Google that, Jeremy?
In the modern age, no, I think
Playing
that's
football.
It is the Vontaze penalty, right? It's a pattern of bad behavior, which is better than you have to miss the second half of the national championship. That's way too severe and sort of out of the context of what happens in the moment. Now you're impacting the whole team. The next game, it's a bizarrely harsh penalty.
Why wouldn't the first targeting penalty be, the warning? And if you do it again, then you get thrown out. It's away.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay with the idea that it's got to be safety first. I don't know how much of a deterrent it actually is, given how often it's happening accidentally.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it is.
You know when it was a malicious, nasty hit. Mm-hmm. You know it. You can see it.
Porn
it is
theory.
right. Yeah, it's
the porn
right
theory's right.
Look, that's a great analogy. Yeah. That's a great analogy.
I always know porn when I see it.
Exactly.
I've never been confused.
So it's when you see a hit that's so awful, as Zaz can attest, okay, yeah, that's worth a suspension. But there has to be like a layer of like you have to be sort of objective with it.
Put it on the poll. Is the targeting penalty like porn? You know it when you see it. I believe that you know it when you see it is the way that a Supreme Court justice described porn, if I'm not mistaken.
People versus Larry Flint. Great movie.
The details on tonight's game, and Damashek, since you are a diehard Indiana rooter and you're rooting, I think it's more than 98%. I think outside of Miami, you're not going to have a whole lot of people rooting for Miami because Indiana is the more charming story, and it's also the news story. Miami has advantages, as it always does on the offensive and defensive line. Indiana's right tackle is a problem. Miami's going to get frustrated tonight by the number of back shoulder throws to Surratt that are then going to open up the deep throw to Surratt when you're expecting the back shoulder throw.
You don't feel like young college football fans are looking at this game tonight being, okay, Indiana's Indiana. It's the Midwest, and Miami, that's cool.
No.
You don't think young college sports fans?
No, not with your QB who's 2 years removed from taking a class, which is a bad look, saying that into a microphone.
True.
We all understand that that's what goes on in college football. It is a weird thing to announce.
He took 3 classes optionally. He didn't even have to.
You
You should celebrate him for his altruism. He chose education and learning when he was done with school. Unlike Deion Sanders, who had a 0.0 GPA and was showing up to games in a limousine and a top hat his senior year.
Now, listen, I went to Indiana University when Bob Knight was the coach, and he was much praised for all of his guys, went to every class. I shared classes with some of those players, and they weren't there for many, many weeks at a stretch. So that was a little overstated.
He's the GOAT.
I do think it would have been very funny for the follow-up to be, well, Carson, what are those classes that you're taking? Because I refuse to believe. He's like, I'm still taking some...
I asked you for matchups and game analysis, and you started criticizing how many
classes I say, Dan?
Beck
Anybody?
is going to.
I talked to Greg and Chris this morning about the game, and I say it again to you now. Who gives a crap if you are on either side? Who cares about what the point spread is? If you are on the Hoosier side or the U side, if you're getting involved and do you think they're going to cover 7.5, who gives a crap? Don't get caught up in that job.
Good call, Stripes.
Hometown cooking. Hometown cooking.
Get out, Dave. Can wait to do this live stream with you tonight. Would like to wait for the rest of my life, pass away, and have the live stream be at my funeral that involves Dave.
Just
Damashek.
you and Dave tonight in there.
No, I know. You guys are saddling me with Dave as Zaslow goes to the game dressed like Luther Campbell. Mike leaves here early. Lucy leaves here as well and saddles me with Damashek.
I still don't know why Mike's leaving early.
7.5 minutes.
I'll be there too.
You'll be here.
I promise you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you guys. You're pulling double duty on a holiday. This is crazy. The last couple of days of content I've really enjoyed. I'm going to support this live stream. I guarantee you will be hearing from Mike Ruiz on this live stream. You can take that to the bank.
Happy, it is a national holiday. Happy David Guetta Day.
Thank you.
And I made a special record. So this record is
in honor of George Floyd. And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Drop was about to go.
Yeah. It was Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech.
Is this cultural appropriation with Zaslow? I don't think he could be dressed like this, but I do think if there's a window for him to be dressed like this, 12 hours, these 12 hours are the 12 hours where it should be allowed.
Can't be dressed like what? Like awesome?
I don't see the problem. This is a bandana. You do you, boo.
I'm sorry you didn't recognize me when you walked in, Dan. That's your fault.
You guys didn't give me the game analysis I was looking for, Lucy or Mike. Mike, by the way,
I haven't been asked.
Kane's inside.
He was a targeting question.
I haven't been asked my opinion on this game or how it's going to go.
Mike, what's your opinion? How's it going to go?
We know how
5 minutes.
We know how you think it's going to go. Kane's Insight is live all the time, burping out an immense amount of content. If you are a Hurricane fan, Mike is one of the owners of Kane's Insight. So give us your best couple of minutes based on everything. Nonstop over the weekend, Kane's Insight was belching out exhaust on this game.
Right. So here's how I think the game's going to go. I had a bold prediction that the line's going to fall down before the game. Right now, last numbers I saw, 78% of the betting public is on Indiana. Who cares about that? Let's talk X's and O's and Jerry's and Joe's. Miami outweighs that defensive line that doesn't have any depth.
Go on.
By like 50 pounds. Miami runs duo. Indiana runs stunts.
Go on.
Miami's going to average at least 4 yards a rush. Miami matches up really well here. I think Miami's going to go on 14-play drives. I think Miami's going to lean on these guys. They present a matchup problem that they haven't really encountered, and I think we're going to see a team wear out over the course of the game. Think back to the Carson Beck touchdown run. Look at number 51, on the ground for 7 seconds. That's what it looks like, and it's going to look like that again. I feel really good about this game. I feel better about this game than I felt the last game. Now, I have tons of respect for Indiana. I think the quarterback is fantastic. I think they have 3 receivers. I think Charlie Becker's been unbelievable down this stretch. I love their offense, full passing concepts out of RPOs. This is not like a sideline throw. They're running routes on RPOs, and Mendoza is extremely accurate. I'm a little worried about Xavier Lucas not being there early on because you're going to need to be physical with these receivers, especially Surratt because he's a ball winner. I think Indiana's going to know right away they're in for a fight, and I think Miami wins. Go Canes.
Yeah. Jeremy, update a couple of the things that we were talking about over this hour, please.
Denzel Perriman was suspended for 2 games for repeated violations of playing rules intended to protect the health and safety of players, and I know it when I see it was used in 1964 in the United States Supreme Court. Justice Potter Stewart described the threshold test for obscenity in Jacob Ellis versus Ohio.
I'm really curious to see what Indiana's defensive line does. Because
they do the same things Mississippi. They do the same things Ole Miss does with the stunts.
And Ole Miss has a more talented D-line, I think.
And got to the quarterback. More than I expected.
Yeah, their pass rush was good. So, like, when you're stunting, running up a team that runs the type of tight splits that Miami does, it's a little bit more complicated, especially when that team is so beefy and big. So are they going to change up what they do? Or are we going to break Indiana's tendencies? Or are they going to trust that and think that if they get a stop early or Miami has a procedural, they can get them in like a 3rd and long situation, dare Carson Beck to be the guy? I think styles make fights, and this is a really good matchup, and it's going to be a difficult one for Indiana, I think.
Carson Beck is in his 7th season, and I did think, Lucy, you tell me if I have this wrong. The reason I was surprised at the amount that Ole Miss got to the quarterback is because I thought Carson Beck was allowed all season to play a game differently than most quarterbacks, where he has a pocket. He has a clean pocket often. I'm almost always surprised when he doesn't have a clean pocket, and I'm certainly surprised when someone comes straight up the middle and sacks him. I thought Carson Beck played, obviously, a great season outside of that Louisville game, but I also thought he had advantages most quarterbacks in the sport don't have. He had an inordinate amount amount of time to make his decisions.
That is one of the best offensive lines in the country. Like, it's very clear that's a Mario Cristobal offensive line right there in front of you. I think that's a lot of what this game is going to come down to is, can Indiana make Carson Beck uncomfortable? Because I agree with you. I thought Ole Miss did a better job than I expected them to do of putting Carson Beck in difficult situations. But that offensive line is so good. And I genuinely think that is sort of like the key to this game for Miami, because I don't think it's going to come down to Carson Beck. I think it's going to come down to how you run the ball.
Carson Beck is a very smart quarterback. Aiden Fisher is a former quarterback and incredibly smart, knows exactly where to be at all times. The pre-snap battle of minds between Carson Beck and Aiden Fisher will be really good. Also a player to watch, a South Florida guy who knows all about Malachi Toney. I'm very curious where D'Angelo Pons lines up. He's one of the best corners in the nation for a 5'9" guy. Guy just does not miss tackles. Is he going to line up against Malachi Toney? If you're familiar with Malachi Toney's rise throughout South Florida sports, those two guys know all about one another. Can't wait for this game. Go Canes.
Narratives.
Just go ahead and leave now. Then
1 minute left with Mike.
Take
advantage of the minute.
Let that be his last words. I can't wait for this game. Go Canes. He's not going to do better than that. I still don't understand why he has to leave early. Why the other people working the game, like Lucy, has carved out 3 separate hours to get to the stadium. Zaslo's going to go at what time? At what time are you going, Zaz?
I'm going to leave after the show.
Yeah, at a reasonable time. But Mike has to leave right now so that he could start his tailgating right now.
Darth Vader's trying to get in Skywalker's ear. You're the evil empire. Beat it. You're the.
I will be beating it. The number 6. Go Canes!
We
didn't always have Fernando.
We didn't get an answer as to why he's leaving
Master.
early. Thank you, Master, for all of your good work.
Bye, Master.
He was the get-back coach on Mike. He kept him away from killing Dave Damashek. We hired him for the day, human resources, to protect us from having blood on the carpet.
Duper in that offense.
And here's some Shakespeare as done by the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. We've stolen the exclamation point officially from Get Up. It's put after the word show.
So this is Act 1, Scene 2 of Macbeth. The stage instructions are: a camp near Fours. Alarm within. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding sergeant.
I don't even know what that means.
Jessica, you will play the role.
All right, so wait, can we set the scene? Thank you, Mike. Can we set the scene, Mike, from high school? Can you give Chris Cody his motivation on, because he didn't even understand what Whittingham.
Am I happy?
Like what?
Am I like distressed?
What, in what condition does the distressed?
How full it stood.
Okay, very good. Good confidence there. Let's have the music that we need. It's Shakespearean music. And let's see if we can find our note here.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
So true.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that. The multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles. Of kerns and Gallowes glasses is supplied, and fortune of his damned quarrel smiling. Showed like a rebel's whore. Showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution.
What?
Yes.
Like Valuor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave.
I feel your distress. I really do.
Which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he uniseamed him from the nave
Rolling.
Don't let them deter you.
to the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun's gins his reflection.
You missed your cue.
Shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So from that spring whence comfort seemed to come.
Wait a minute. There wasn't a question mark there.
Discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, Mark, no sooner justice had with valor armed.
Oh, you think he's done?
Humbled these skipping
Compelled.
these skipping kerns to trust their heels.
Not compelled. We need compelling.
But the Norwegian lord surveying vantage.
Which is it?
Furbished arms,
Vintage or vantage?
and new supplies of men.
All right, we've
begin a fresh assault.
tested his endurance.
Not this. Our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
And scene.
You almost made it to the finish line. You started leaking confidence. It was not unlike the race outside in Freedom. You were very confident for a moment, and then you fell at the finish line. But
Showed his long track.
Excellent, Chris. Excellent.
Vintage, vantage.
Long white crap.
Coppled, compelled.
Mike goes to Vegas, gets drunk, and Roy has to finish his hockey segment.
Mike Ryan has landed in Vegas.
Radio Mambí, La Grande.
What does it take to win that championship that you guys are talking about? It takes men.
I love you, Miami. I'm hurt, dog.
Así viene sandwich, man.
Joaquin said dominate.
This is what it takes to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Ay, San Lázaro bendito.
Let's go, you. Let's go, man. Dale.
Ya tu sabe.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
The longest tenured coach in the AFC East is now Mike Vrabel. Whoa. Yeah, that was a little over 300 days ago that 350 days ago that Vrabel was hired. McDermott's record is crazy. This kind of coach usually doesn't get fired when I put this in front of you. 98-50, 2 AFC title game appearances, 5 AFC East titles, a winning percentage of .662. That ranks 15th of all time, 3rd among active coaches, and here's the killer. He took over a team that hadn't made the playoffs in 18 years. 18 years they had not made the playoffs, and now he is fired. And the reason he's fired is because he's got a great quarterback, and all his players are crying in the locker room because they lost again.
But also, didn't he survive because he has the superhero quarterback, Josh Allen? And I have long contended that there is no head coach who would be exposed more quickly without that superhero quarterback than Sean McDermott.
Well, Josh Allen is the reason they were in the game, and he's also the reason they lost the game. You cannot turn the ball over that way. You saw what the champion Eagles were doing with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts didn't have that many turnovers over a 10-game spread because I thought they had coached the reckless out of Josh Allen.
He was awful yesterday.
And he was awful down the field, okay, but he did complete the one that was ruled an incompletion. Like the Brandon Cooks thing shouldn't be an interception to me, but let's just get to the crying Bills in the locker room because we've got a number of them. Let's start with Josh Allen.
How hard is it to just get here again and have this happen?
It's extremely difficult. I feel like I let my teammates down tonight.
Now, his teammates took that comment really hard. They felt bad for him taking all the blame. Here is Dion Dawkins, his right tackle.
Simply that. I hate to keep it short, but we love you. You know, we're thankful for him.
He said he feels like he let you guys down. How do you react when your quarterback who's done so much for you says that to you guys?
He let us down.
Oh, man.
And here is Brandon Cooks, who has been with the team all of 6 weeks.
Felt so heavy on him. I mean, emotional, just coming out to the podium.
Yeah.
What was it like seeing him like that?
I think we all feel that way, you work so hard. Personally, just so thankful to be a part of this. I look back and like, man, what can I have done to be able to alleviate some of that pressure from him? You just love this game so much, and when you come up short like this, it's gonna sting for a long time, There's no, next week.
Dan, does somebody want to tell him what he could have done?
I think you just did. Mark Sanchez has 4 road playoff wins. Josh Allen has 1. Last week was the first time that Josh Allen had a playoff game-winning drive at the end of the game. The last 3 Bills seasons have ended losing the game by 3 points, and Josh Allen has a chance at the end to win the game and has the ball in his hands and hasn't done what needs to be done so that he creates one of those forever moments.
Per Scott Kazmar, it's going to take Josh Allen at least 8 playoff appearances to reach his first Super Bowl. It's never been done before. Anyone who had been to 7 playoff appearances had reached the Super Bowl at least once.
Wow.
The things that happened in that game were stunning, and it kept going right until after the game, where I can, in my memory, remember a coach coming to a press conference and announcing something that none of us knew, and he did it because the players had already left, and he didn't want them to learn like somewhere else, so he wanted to immediately say it. Because I didn't realize that he was that kind of injured. Did you guys realize that Bo Nix was any kind of injured? I know he was limping, but at this time of year, every single person who's playing that sport is limping. So I did not have that kind of cataclysmic situation where you got Stidham starting a game for the Broncos. He started all of 4 games, and the only reason he started those 4 games is because the team was wanting to sit Derek Carr and who was it? Oh, it was Russell Wilson, just to save the money is the only reason. He hasn't started in 750 days, and he's only started 4 games, and now he's got to play the Patriots in a game at home because Bo Nix is injured. And the story of the weekend, indisputably, that game last night was great. But the story of the weekend is Josh Allen loses. It's not anybody winning. It's not anyone else losing. It's just Josh Allen loses.
I agree with you. It's a shame that the refereeing, which I think is in fact the story of the weekend, and the complaining coming off of it. But absolutely, you're right, Dan. And I've argued with Mina Kimes' name drop many, many times about QB wins in the postseason, not just mattering, but them being everything. And people want to talk their way around it because of small sample sizes and the advanced analytics. But you just saw in the locker room how important these games are. These few moments you get, and the guys involved in it want to talk their way around it because they're incented to. They don't want all that pressure on their shoulders that it all comes down to. The way we regard Josh Allen, not just right now, but in 20 years from now and in 50 years, is did he get over the hump and did he win the title? People want to say, Josh Allen is better than blank and all of that. Also, I know that what the conversation will be coming out of this one. In fact, today, they just fired the head coach as a result of that loss. By the way, let's keep in mind all those tears from the Bills, guys. This is after a divisional round game. They didn't even get close to the Super Bowl, and they're weeping like this. Josh Allen, along with Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, count them all up, C.J. Stroud. The idea that Dan Marino is a one-off, the only guy never to get a Lombardi, Marino Island is now going to be overrun over the next decade with these high-end quarterbacks who may get a gold jacket but ain't going to get no Lombardi.
Some of this stuff can be random, right? Drake May has more fumbles than anybody who plays quarterback, but you've got to lose the fumbles, and you got to lose the games for people to remember. C.J. Stroud just had a disaster playoffs that no one's ever had. That many fumbles in the first game. No, but no one's ever had. No quarterback has ever had the last two games in the playoffs that C.J. Stroud had, where he's got 5 fumbles in the first game. And he's turning the ball over like a lunatic over the weekend.
He had 7 turnovers in the 2 playoff games? What?
Well, he didn't lose a couple of the fumbles because that was happening. That's happened a lot to Drake May, and it's going to happen to him against Denver because that pass rush is going to get to him. But the thing that happened in the Broncos-Bills game, never mind the officiating for a second, okay, even though pass interference makes me crazy in that sport. All of these teams are trying to get 4 yards, dying to get 4 yards, and then every once in a while you just chuck it up and get 45 of them. It's dumb. Like
it's the worst penalty in sports.
And then, put it in the hands of an old guy running next to the play. That's a good idea.
Why does college have it right and the NFL doesn't?
If you go back to 15, then you have guys that'll just be, it's a 40-yard pass. I'm just going to hit him.
Okay, whatever, but you're assuming that he's going to catch the ball, and now you just ended that team's season by making it a spot foul because you're sure he would have caught the ball. On a call, by the way, which is subjective.
Should it be like porn?
I don't want to see it.
You just judge it? You're like, that one feels like a 20-yarder.
There was another pass interference that should have been called on a Brandon Cooks play that wasn't. There is some randomness to the Bills losing that game, but this part's not random because he didn't have the receivers this year. On deep passes, Bo Nix was 3 for 4 for 80-plus yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen was 0 for 9. Just couldn't do anything down the field. Against Jacksonville, they kept asking him to be Superman, and he was, and it was a big ask to ask him to do it again. But he had the ball in overtime. He had the ball toward the end of the game in moments matter, and in the moments that mattered, and he didn't make the plays that you remember. So what you're going to remember from that game is him crying in the or crying at the press conference afterward because he clearly cares and he's clearly broken, and now he's got the stigma on him of he can't win that one. That's on him now. And I don't think that's real based on what I saw yesterday. He made the throw that Brandon Cooks has to make the catch on so they get the field goal and win the game.
He also missed a couple. In regulation, he had Brandon Cooks and
he had Kincaid as well. And yes.
Underthrew a guy too. Look, I love Josh Allen. He's great.
Why do you love Josh Allen?
Because I wish I had him. Are you kidding me?
Drake May had 4 fumbles yesterday. Nobody will remember it.
Chris has been seduced, as so many have, like a lot of the talking heads we listen to, by the biggest brand names. And there's a momentum behind Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and all of these guys. The fact is, though, that as Jeremy just alluded to with that number about the unlikelihood of Josh Allen ever getting to a Super Bowl now, the guys who go to the Super Bowl, I can keep pounding the table about this. This is not advanced analytics. This is readily available stuff. If I can tap into it, so can everybody else. the guys who go to the Super Bowl, the quarterbacks in the QB league who do it in this century are the guys on their first contract who are the real deal. It's why I said Bo Nix or Drake May was going to the Super Bowl, and one of them will essentially go to the Super Bowl. And I said the teams with the byes are obviously going to advance.
Is this
and
I told you so? Listen to all the things
Yes.
I got right on
Yes,
Football
that's
America.
exactly
Okay,
right.
We don't need
Yes,
that.
that's exactly what I'm doing,
We
Dan.
celebrate the things we get wrong around here, not the things we
Josh
get right.
Allen
That's
is
pardon the interruption.
8-7 in the postseason. Okay, 4 of those losses are to Patrick Mahomes.
It's not a bad record, by the way.
No, in the postseason, it's
not bad
pretty
at all.
solid. You're playing the best teams, and you're over 500 in 15
perfectly
games.
respectable record.
And this last game, that's the first time in one of those losses where he's thrown multiple interceptions. It's not like he's been this dreadful quarterback always turning the ball over in those games.
He's not the reason they lose. Like Lamar Jackson can be the reason that the Ravens lose in the playoffs. It's until yesterday or Saturday, it has not been Josh Allen as the reason why the Bills
but
lost.
Zaz, this is the way this stuff sticks to you, okay? In the divisional round, Mahomes is 7-0. Josh Allen is 2-4. Like, that's how that stuff sticks to you. He plays in the era of Mahomes. Mahomes in the divisional round never loses that game. And Josh Allen loses it 3/4 of the time.
Best thing that ever happened for Tom Brady was he was largely a passenger on the way to that first Super Bowl, and in fact, Drew Bledsoe does some of the heavy lift for him in that postseason. But he has that sting taken off of him before it ever even gets started by winning that Super Bowl against the Rams. That there is pressure. These guys have a different sense of self, different level of confidence than I'll ever have, and I'll always envy it because of their physical attributes, but they want to talk their way around the fact that that these moments have a massive amount of pressure on their shoulders. It is the curse of Sposta. Josh Allen knows he has to get it done.
What?
The curse of Sposta. When you're the guy, when you're the team that's supposed to get it done, there's extra pressure.
What is
on
the
you.
curse of Sposta? I've not heard that phrase before, and it did sound like it was curse of Spolstra.
That's where we all went.
What is that?
Not Spolstra. No, I understand the confusion down here. You're supposed to. When you have the curse of Sposta on you, it adds extra weight on your shoulders.
You know about that crazy vocabulary, like a crazy vocab. Are you a word of the day guy?
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for tripping the entire show.
Damashek tripped the whole show?
Yeah, we didn't know what you were talking about.
Our penalties are oddly specific.
The things that are random here that are interesting to me on postseason sample sizes, the Bears were the best defense in the league at causing turnovers this year, 33 turnovers. Didn't cause one in the postseason, not one. Caleb Williams, 7 times this season. He wins a game when trailing at the 2-minute warning. Not yesterday, even though he had one of the most amazing goal-to-go plays you will ever see in the history of the sport, running 26 yards backwards. I had the misfortune of seeing that play. Of hearing that play on the radio because I was driving. I had to get somewhere, and so I had to leave, and I didn't get to see the play. And it was Kevin Harlan and Ross Tucker.
Must have been amazing.
Well, it was amazing to hear them punctuate the entire play with Ross Tucker just screaming, "I love football!" But
were you like, me too?
But I didn't. Well, no, I didn't totally understand what had happened though, because it didn't make any sense to me that Caleb Williams was at the goal line and then was throwing it from his 45. And so they were trying to describe it, but it was nearly impossible to describe as it was happening because it was happening too fast. And then all of a sudden, who's in the end zone? Of course, we all had this. Cole Kmet. Of course, somehow the ball is thrown perfectly 45 yards. There's a DB there. He's right there. And it just goes 2 yards over his head.
It's unbelievable. He's backpedaling when he throws it. And, yes, you give Caleb Williams credit for an unbelievable play, but it's not like Kmet was open when he threw it. It's just like, I'm going to toss it to this part of the end zone, and hopefully my guy can catch it.
The ball went 51 yards in the air. It's a 14-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And he did that while running backwards to the only spot in the end zone where that could happen.
He's so good.
By the way, to the tight end that didn't just break all the records for all of those receiving yards. That's Colston Loveland.
That's their blocking tight end, Cole Kmet. So Lucy is in town. Lucy is, this is what makes it a big game. And Lucy has a top 5 list for us of the top 5 things she misses about Miami. Like, I think the top 100 list of things she doesn't miss about Miami would have a lot of OLIs, but the top 5 things she misses about Miami, do you have any OLIs, or are we just going to start with number 5?
I have one OLI. This was a very difficult list to put together. I have to be honest. I had to ask Chris for help because I was like, I've run out. We had 2 things on the list. I said, well, that's it. And I know it's a top 5.
Well, I know you miss this weather. I know you do.
No, I didn't even put that on the list.
I bet you do, though. You got to miss this weather.
Today's
cold. To be honest, like right now it's really nice, but the rest of the year I don't miss it even a little bit. Like I don't like
OLI!
Okay. All right, my OLI. I miss you all.
OLI.
Didn't make the top 5.
I get that, though.
You struggled to come up with 5.
Mike's energy
not
was a
make
little
the
crazy.
top 5.
Thank you for putting us all in there in just a blanket.
Number 5. I miss how cheap the Ubers are. They're so cheap. They're so affordable. Compared to New York, the Ubers here, they're cheap. Whoa. Really nice.
That's crazy.
Okay. Number 4. The coffee shop over there. This one? It's called Bobby?
It's good.
It's really good. Pistachio matcha latte there. Can't recommend enough.
What's going on with your voice? Have you partied this weekend? What's going on?
So I went to Las Rosas this weekend, Mike's bar, which was so much fun. And a certain coworker of mine that may or may not have been pepper sprayed was chain smoking cigarettes and was blowing the smoke into my face.
It was jarring to look at.
Rose?
Chain smoking.
And she was blowing it right into my face. And I specifically was like, hey, I have to talk this week. Like, I'm not going to be smoking any cigarettes. I did not. And she was blowing the smoke into my face, and now I have vocal fry.
None of us knew that Rose was a chain smoker.
Oh, I actually did know. She does this on the
I
thread.
knew that she might have the occasional when she's having a nice time, but something about Saturday night, chain smoking.
Yeah, and I specifically said, hey, I'm not going to partake because I have to, I have a job to do. You're welcome.
Rose caused you to lose your voice?
She blew all the smoke into my face the whole night. Someone came up to me at the bar and said, hey, your friend needs to chill. She's blowing their smoke everywhere.
Wow. Number 3.
I miss the murals and the color here.
That's a good time to put up Tony on the screen as he's arrived at La Casa de los Trucos, and you can see behind him, you can see some of the mural and the color back there as he pantomimes chain smoking. We'll get to Tony in a second.
I think Rose is with him, right? You need to watch out.
Yeah, we need to find out.
You should get a mask.
If she's there, Tony, you interview her.
Yeah, Tony, we need you to interview Rose on what it is that she was doing chain smoking. We'll get to that in a second. Number 2, number 3, number 2?
Lucy,
number 2.
Does Miami have a color scheme? It feels
it's
like
neon and bright, and I love those colors. It's very I really genuinely do miss it. It's a lot of pink and blue and green.
Yeah,
and they're bright.
Pink is the color I most associate.
Very,
New Orleans has green, gold, and purple.
Yeah, from Mardi Gras.
Pittsburgh
but Miami
has black and gold.
Is all just like really beautiful, bright colors, and I really like that. So, and that's genuine.
Art Deco pastels.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2, babysitting Mike Ryan's daughter. Love her. She's such a good time. She was pretty much my only friend here, which is kind of why I had to leave. It was part of the problem. But she's delightful. We never hung out.
Yeah, that's true.
And number 1, ready? The cafecito, depending on the day. Can't do it every day.
That last part.
The first time I ever had that, when I drove home, I couldn't stop honking. I was honking at everybody, and no one was doing anything wrong. And I was like, why do I keep honking at them? And I was like, I got to chill out with this.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does the cafecito make you honk at everyone? You guys know the University of Miami has a cafecito coordinator, correct?
That's cool. A full-time, that's their job?
Well, I don't think it's a full-time job.
Is it on LinkedIn?
Full-time benefits and everything.
I don't think it's a full-time job, given that they just give shots to the players right before the game. But it should be an illegal substance. It should be something that they test for and that you're not allowed to play football on, because if it makes Lucy honk like a crazy person in traffic,
we can see the UM defensive line here before a game.
It's just uppers.
It's why Xavier Lucas got targeting call. It's because he was extra violent from the cafecito, but the cafecito coordinator is not a full-time job.
Yeah, they're taking a shot of the Cuban coffee, and then they are the coverage team on the kickoff.
Crimes being committed out in the open. I have to give a shout out to what I miss from Miami and when I get excited. This is my 3rd visit now. And
the garlic rolls?
I get no. I understand that that's the association people make now with me. It's the pizza and vice versa in the hotel. And when I hear, oh, you're on your way back to Miami, the first thought is, look, I'm going to meet up with my old pal, that spicy pizza and vice versa in the hotel. Ooh la and la. I already had one. I may have 3 or 4 more before I head back.
Dave Damashek will be a part of the live stream tonight.
We are
going to go live at about 7:30, and we're going to watch the game together. We're going to go to Tony live outside the La Casa de los Trucos in a moment. Can you look up something for me, though, Jeremy? The Texans, obviously, when Schultz goes out yesterday, they're already down Nico Collins and Trent Brown. Trent Brown is 6'8", 380 pounds. Is there a larger human being than that in the NFL? Is there anyone larger than 6'8", 380 pounds? Because that's part of the reason that the Texans were having all sorts of problems. The Texans' defense was great yesterday. Before that booty catch, he didn't catch it with his booty. He caught it with his one hand. It's the first one-handed catch Booty has had all season. And before that, that was the worst offensive performance by EPA that an offense had in the playoffs since 2000. The Patriots were terrible before that catch, and that catch was amazing, an all-time memory moment for the Patriots, especially done against Stingley, who doesn't allow much of anything. That was a crazy good catch. I don't even understand how he caught that ball, given the aerodynamics and the physics of what was happening there.
So, 2 things here. Booty has 2 deep ball catches against Singletary in the last 2 years, that one, and another last year. There have been 2 other deep balls caught against Singletary.
Stingley, right? Stingley.
Yeah, sorry, Stingley. That's my fault. That's a fine. I'll Venmo somebody.
Who else's fault would it be?
Stingley
Who
in the
else's
last.
fault would it be? Who else's fault
Ball
would
off me.
that be?
Hey,
I know. I said that
me.
already. You don't have to say
Desmond
the
Watson
ball's
is the
off you.
largest person in the NFL, although he is not active. So Trent Brown at 380 pounds, he's the largest active
How much
player.
does Calais Campbell go these days? Not anywhere close to 380.
I
know that,
like
but he's 6'9".
No, but 310 is what I would
Yeah,
get. 300 maybe on him. Like this
Max
is
Starks, there was an offensive lineman who was about a 6'8", 350 type.
So
but that's about it.
Among the things being talked about in the NFL today, McDermott has been fired. What comes in second place to Josh Allen? Now, Damashek was mentioning the officiating, which I guess we can do that almost any weekend, right? Because if the games are all going to be close, right? If they're all going to be ridiculously close, there are any number of calls at any point in the game. We could do it every single game. We could complain about the subjective thing that was unfair because the game was decided by some sort of old person's judgment. But the call from the weekend that everyone's talking about is that Brandon Cooks, it felt like he caught that ball, and you have rarely seen an interception that way, correct? Where you have the catch, you think it's a catch, but you know that by the letter of the law, you have to complete the catch. That's a rule. Like, that would have been a catch 7 years ago. 7 years ago, there's not the complete the catch stuff and all this stuff that confused us about, we've been saying for years, I don't know what a catch is. Now I don't know what an interception is. Because that in my lifetime has never been an interception.
Why didn't they review it?
I mean, the rule is the rule. They got it right by the letter of the rule. To me, though, there's no point in having judges if all they're going to do is go by the letter of the rule.
That's what people are vexed by those as. It was the lack of stopping down. We're so conditioned to the process, having further review in New York weighing in and all the rest of it. But ultimately, Dan's right. I don't understand these people. First of all, people talking into microphones on purpose and sharing stills of, look at this spot, he has the ball. Well, that's irrelevant. It's a rolling play, and as the rule is stated, whether you like it or not, he has to complete the catch to the ground. And so by definition, if the ball jostles as he collides with the ground, which it did, the ball is live.
Oh,
and
did it jostle? I mean, I couldn't tell.
I don't think you could tell either way. It was just like
that's
unsure.
why I wanted some kind of review.
I get the desire to, based on how we, like I say, have been conditioned over the last several years to see further review, but I do think they ultimately got that right. The ball is live as the DB rolls over and comes up with the ball. Yeah, it is home team's ball.
The call was right. You can't overturn it after it's been called an interception either. Barnwell and Dominique have both talked about this. They got the call right, but it still feels wrong. Like that's what happened there. And I don't think it's because people are rooting for Josh Allen. I don't think it's because the Bills are crying in the locker room. I just think that over the course of your lifetime, you are not used to two people landing on the floor with the ball and then the defensive guy gets up with it and it's not the offensive guy's possession. Like over the course of history watching football, if you're doing it in your backyard, anybody's been playing football, once you land on the ground with the ball, they can't take it away from you. Like that's the part that is a bit baffling, that the rule makers have it right when they say the rule was followed justly. But you'll never be able to convince Bills fans of that, and you won't be able to convince me of it either, because I really don't. We don't have judges just to enforce rules. We have them to interpret them.
Agree, but the bottom line is, Dan, you think that should have been Bills' ball?
I do. I do think that should have been a catch where it landed, and it can't be an interception. You can't have the season decided that way. And, in fact, I don't think if it had gone the other way. I don't think
that would have decided the season against the Broncos.
I know, but I don't think if it had gone the other way. I think the outrage would be less from Bronco fans and America if it had been called a catch and not an interception. I think Broncos fans wouldn't be talking today the way Bills fans are if it had simply been a catch. I think it would have been less controversial the other way.
Absolutely.
How does that make sense? Who does that make sense to? How does it make sense to anybody listening to this that if I had ruled that a catch, Broncos fans would be less upset than Bills fans are today?
Well, that is a fascinating point that I hadn't really considered, that if you do it the other, but now you're depending upon the official in that moment to just reverse the call. I also think the thing that people are vexed by largely, and there's no way around it, is that the officials are going to play a role in this. And you can go back several minutes prior. It looks like there's a hold in the end zone that would have also ended the game too. And if, to your point, Dan, if the Bills win the game on that deep ball to Cooks, they kick the field goal, they move on. Now, the Broncos fans would have spent the last 2 days belly aching about that. That's a safety, and they didn't call it because they didn't have the balls to call it and end the playoff game on a safety on an offensive holding.
It's true. I mean, I remember watching it live on that play and thinking to myself, that looks like a hold. And the only way they're going to call that to have the game end on a safety, someone is going to have to get murdered in the end zone.
Not even then. The officials would absolutely not rule it murder, and there would be a dead person on the field in the end zone, and the officials would not make a ruling there. Is that Tony's music I hear? Is that what's happening right there? All right, that is Tony's music. He is at La Casa de los Trucos. He already told us what La Casa de los Trucos is. It is the most famous and longest-standing costume shop in South Florida history. Is it open? I was told that it is opening at 10 a.m. today for you, but you're standing outside.
Yeah, Dano, it is open. It is 10:10 right now on the East Coast. I'm finishing my café con leche. We have a couple patrons already walked in. We've gone before and we've done the advanced scouting and we are able to go inside. I was just waiting on you to let you know if you wanted me to do my top 5 out here or if you wanted me to do my top 5
I want your top 5
inside. We're talking football.
I want your top 5 inside, but I would like you to interview Rose real quick about her chain smoking and the fact
that's great. That's incredible. Rose isn't here, so I love that. Okay. Last week would have been great for that. She's not here, though. So I've got Danny B and I've got Sean McGill. If you want to interview them about Rose's chain smoking.
We'll get Rose here. Damashek, would you do me the favor of just going to get Rose and putting her next to Lucy and all of her cigarette smells so that I could get to the bottom of that? But, yes, I'd prefer the top 5 from inside La Casa de los Trucos. Should we wait for you or do you just want to go in there? You want us to interview Rose and filibuster while you're going in there or do you just want to take the show from here?
Yeah, let's do that. No, let's do that for a second, just you guys, so I can make sure everything's cool in there and then get things rolling. So come back to us in about 2 minutes.
All right. Rose, you seem to have knocked over a tree while you were in there. You're a bit of a smoking disaster. You've gotten our employees sick. You cannot generally be trusted to not blow smoke in the face of others. We all learned together, except for Lucy, that you are a chain smoker. Rose, why did you get Lucy sick? Were you partying too much? Does this happen when you have too many drinks?
Yes, I can count it with my hands the times that I smoke. So Mally was here, and he's a bad influence. So it was not just my fault. Sorry, Mally.
Mally's a bad influence.
Mally was here.
Mike Mally.
And I want the record stated. She said she can count on one hand the amount of time. Like, she doesn't do this a lot. She's not
crazy.
a chain smoker all the time, but every once in a while.
No, I don't. I just smoke when I have when I'm partying. Yes.
Yeah.
How many heaters did you rip? Because you were accused of chain smoking, and the bar establishment was saying, "Please get control of your friend."
Over under 15.
She's blowing smoke in everyone's face. Lucy said you embarrassed her.
I don't know. I did not count them. It was a good amount.
And how many drinks do you have before the chain smoking starts?
I don't know. I'm
She produces the hockey show. She is Rose, and she's going to have to leave now because she can't answer I don't know to questions only she knows the answer to.
No, because I don't know. Well, okay, two and a half.
Dan. That's what happens on one of those nights. You don't know how many drinks you had. Let her off the hook.
2.5. So yeah, that was me, and then I got everybody blaming me that it was my fault for other days. Just because Lucy said that it was my fault, so I have the entire office saying it's my fault.
Okay, you did blow the smoke into my face.
Yeah,
You also left at one point to get a new pack of cigarettes.
Yes, that did also happen.
You went and bought. Wait a minute, that area doesn't. You were at Las Rosas. That area. How
I
far
was
did you go?
wondering
That
where
area
you
doesn't
went,
have.
dude.
Like you got to walk a ways in order to find cigarettes
I
over
became
there.
friends with the guy outside. I was like, hey, remember my face? I'm just gonna go somewhere in there. It was very close. I went there, and this lady was very happy to see me and gave me my cigarettes.
Thank you, Rose.
This was a rare occasion. Rose is very well behaved.
Yep.
She just happened to, the only week I really have to talk a lot, make me lose my voice.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, see you later. In fact, let me just punish you.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes for adding nothing.
Wow.
Sazlo, what are you looking forward to tonight? Because I don't see a circumstance under which it's not interesting. It might be low scoring, and it might be dull to some people because there's going to be a lot of smash mouth involved, not going to be high-tempo offenses. I don't think Mendoza is going to be able to do the things that he normally does.
I'm looking forward to the moment. Like it's why we love sports. And the Canes fan got one of those moments in the last game with Carson Beck running into the end zone.
They got one against Ohio State, too, with Scott and the pick six.
And I want to feel it again. I want to feel it again. It's why we love sports. So I'm just excited for the potential of having another moment tonight in what could be a forever night. It really is. This is what I don't think I'm overstating this. I had to think of overstate. I don't think I'm overstating this, Dan. This is one of the biggest nights in the history of South Florida when it comes to sports, because not only is it the Hurricanes mean a lot to this city, but it's at home for the national championship. And it's as an underdog, a significant underdog. This has potential to be one of the greatest nights of our lives as a sports fan down here. So
it's going to be for somebody, either Miami or Indiana. This will be.
You guys cannot. I just have to keep saying it, not to be a curmudgeon. You know right now in your hearts and your guts which side you're rooting for. I do not want to hear at the end of the night, hey, Cuban hero, prodigal son, Fernando got one.
You're
That's
still going to do that
too.
tomorrow. That's my guy.
Not acceptable. You're not.
That.
Your heart and gut will disagree with what your brain tells you at the end of the game, and if that's what your mouth is saying, shame the devil. I'm with you, Zaz, and I think it's vaguely a shame. I have to say sincerely that the story of the U, that the national championship game happens to be in their home stadium, and it's kind of playing as an afterthought. I do think that could provide a little chip on the shoulder, as guys like to have before a big game. It might be a little extra juice. No one is talking about us, and I can't help Dan to harken back to 43 years ago. The greatest college football game of all time was when Kosar, Schnellenberger, and the U vanquished the red and white team, #1 with the Heisman Trophy winner.
There's no other way to cut him off.
A lot of yammers there between Zaslow and between Damashek. Damn. I did want to bring this to your attention. Do you want me to get you this netted shirt for you to wear on the show tonight? Please. Is that something you'd be interested in?
$19.99 sounds like my price right there.
$18.99. I can probably get him to lower it a little bit.
Oh,
get the hometown discount.
Oh, really?
I'll just tell her I'm Fernando Mendoza. Yeah, I'll tell her I'm Fernando Mendoza.
I thought you were saying you used to dress like that in 1999, which would be a revelation, Dan.
Last time you fit into that shirt.
Give us your top 5. Don't fat shame me, Zaslow. Do not do it. You're not looking so good in that soda drinker's body and that Luther Campbell gear over there. And people are commenting on how you looked in that undershirt in Guayabera last week.
Jeremy fed me that line.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. He was not accountable at all.
Throw him under the bus.
Tony,
what the hell is that?
Tony, hold on a second. Hold on. Because I'm up against the break here, turn down his music. It's just something that we did for a second to shut up Damashek. We'll come back to you. We'll lead the next segment so that you have enough room. I want to get your football top 5.
Thank you.
I don't want to give you 50 seconds in order to to do what it is that you do. So we will come back in a second to you.
Rose has located some cigarettes, apparently.
Yeah, she evidently has. That's good to see. I'm glad that she is, again, chain smoking. So real quick here, though, I did love last night. My favorite part of the late game was Tony Dungy just screaming at anyone who will listen. Forget the analytics. Kick the field goals. Somebody kick the field goals. Stop going for it on 4th and short. It was like watching a dinosaur become extinct on Sunday Night Football in America.
Guys, check us out tonight. It's Hurricanes versus Hoosiers for the national championship tonight. And unless you've got thousands of dollars to get a seat, you're watching it with us in the cheap seats, streaming live on Le Batard Show YouTube channel tonight, 7:30.
Billy the Barbados Carnival.
So welcome back, Billy, and I don't know where this particular tension is going to end up. Welcome back. And I also want to get to Mike Ryan. He does not agree with you on Hard Knocks, Chris. He doesn't.
Oh, trust me. We had a whole text exchange last night. I almost drove to his house to fight him.
Yeah, you guys have very wildly disparate opinions on the Oakland Raiders and Hard Knocks. But first, Billy, welcome back. How was your honeymoon?
It was good. Thank you for asking.
Oh, he's tightened up his game now that he's refreshed. Okay, things are
it's just so hot today, Dan. I don't know what's going on with the air, but luckily I have this little fan that I bought before a hurricane that I have plugged into my phone, so like it's keeping me nice and cool.
I'm so jealous.
You guys should get these. These things are awesome. Look at it, Dan. You see this thing? Look at this.
Can you please tell me about all the awkward things that happened to you? Did anything weird happen to you in Barbados? Like what kind of, just give me some awkward Billy on his honeymoon stuff. Is there anything that...
The non-awkward would be a much shorter story.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going to go. What's the best you got from your honeymoon? And then we'll move on to other things like Antonio trying to steal your job.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, well, it's actually called Kadooment, but that's a different story.
All right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it.
Whoa!
Antonio, just go sit in his chair. We'll get back to it.
I'm back, baby.
I want to hear the whole story. I just don't understand why you can't even get the name right of Carnival. And like,
it's Crop Over. That's fine.
Why is it called a honeymoon?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Put it on the poll, Antonio, now that you've replaced Billy in his chair. Do you know why they call it a honeymoon? Mike, do you have the sound? A very simple sound, a very simple question. Basically, I want you to hear Billy, who has a reputation for yammering and just not being able to get anything out, and he's rusty because he hasn't been paying attention to the internet for 10 days. So he came in here today, and it was just a furnace blast of news, all of it weird, disorienting. The local hour has gone someplace else.
We showed him Antonio Brown's feet.
Yeah, like he's missed a lot. I'm actually scared when I disappear for my honeymoon. I'm going to come back and I feel like things are just going to be gone. There's the possibility like the shipping container room just floated off into the Atlantic Ocean.
We're still not out of hurricane season.
Yeah, I am going to fall it's very easy to fall very far behind, very fast when it comes to the amount of stimulation and news and sports stuff that you are getting. Billy was off the grid. He comes back. Everything's changed except his inability to say anything quickly. So
he's white now.
Everything is different. Like you
That's the most efficient you've ever been.
Yes. Look at that. Did you learn something on your honeymoon? Okay, so lest you think he has cured his ills of not being efficient, please play for the audience. This is Billy Rusty returning from his honeymoon. Just him simply trying to say where he was.
I've had a lot of awkwardness, in my entire life, I guess. But recently I've had a bunch of awkwardness. So I'd say from the honeymoon, I think the most memorable thing that we did was, so in Barbados, they have an annual carnival, right? Or carnival or whatever, right? It's called Crop Over. And it's at the end, it's actually called Kadooment. But that's
for the love of God.
All
right, go sit outside for a second. We'll get back to it. Whoa! You would have kept going. You would have given it 20 names if I didn't cut you off and kick you out. You would have given it 20 names. Actually, the roots of the word come from the 1700s and indigenous people.
I was upset you did that to Billy his first day back, but hearing it back, he absolutely deserved it.
Again, I want you to hear again, just Mike, the last part of it, where he's simply trying to say, Billy is simply trying to tell us, this is a very simple transaction. Hey, Billy, where were you? What were you doing? He got snagged and stuck on where were you?
It's the Brobdingnagian pregame show.
It's the Brobdingnagian pregame show. It's the Brobdingnagian pregame show. It's the Brobdingnagian pregame show. Whoa, whoa.
It's the Brobdingnagian pregame show. It's the Brobdingnagian pregame show. It's the Brobdingnagian pregame show. Whoa. It's Brobdingnagian. It's Brobdingnagian.
Oye, los huracanes.
It's Brobdingnagian. That means big. It's Brobdingnagian.
Oops, there goes another rubber tree plant.
I am at a total loss for why Mike Ryan had to leave early. Like he just had to leave, and he fled the premises 2 hours early because he's got to get ready for the game to do what? You guys want to guess here? Josh Allen has played 7 overtime games. You guys want to guess how many points he has produced in those 7 overtime games in the overtimes?
I don't even know where to start.
3.
I was going to guess 6, so I was overly optimistic there.
And now his coach is fired. And I think the second biggest story, and we'll go out to Tony at La Casa de los Trucos in just a moment. I think the second biggest story of the weekend, not the officiating, I think it's the Bears not going for 2 after you've tied the game there. And you've got the coach in Ben Johnson who has delivered on his promise of, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to be aggressive. And then you have a chance to go for 2. You haven't been good in short yardage situations. You haven't been good on 4th down, and you settled for the tie when you could have ended Stafford right there.
Wow, I never even considered that. Like, you wanted them to go for 2 there.
I'm just saying the conversation around it. I'm not saying that. I would also have just tied the game, but generally speaking, in almost all circumstances, I want to be in the situation where I have the ball and I need to get 3 yards. I don't want to be in defense on that situation. I'm guessing Rams fans were relieved that the Bears were kicking to tie the game, and I don't want to give them relief. I want to finish them after breaking their heart by throwing to Cole Kmet from 50 yards away.
I think that's exactly right, Dan, is what if you can summon what do they not want us to do more, that's what we should do, first of all. But more broadly, in the QB league, and if you're in a big-time playoff game, you probably have a high-end QB. Do you think he's the best player on the field? Certainly, Ben Johnson took the job with the Bears because that's how much he thought of Caleb Williams. He thinks Caleb Williams is the best player on the field. So which is more likely, that you're going to make 2.5 yards with that stud QB, or you're going to win the coin flip, but then you're going to make the right choice when you win that coin flip. But if you don't win it, then you have to hope they don't score so that you don't have pressure on you. But then you have to get the ball, and then you have to at least match what they did and get all the sequence of events. And by the way, it was snowy out and windy out, and it's not a gimme to make the extra point. So that also should have been a factor in what Ben Johnson did.
I believe that Ben Johnson, if he had gone for 2 there, would have immediately supplanted Mike Ditka as the most popular coach in the history of Bears football if he had gone for 2 and gotten it.
Boy, oh boy, Dan, how about the completion of that football circle, 43 years old, that Tom Osborne had the balls to go for it. It didn't work out for him, but my esteem for him as a man,
Tony,
through the roof.
Tony's shaking his head no at all of this commentary. Tony is pro-cowardice. Tony, what do you have?
No, it's not that I'm pro-cowardice. It's just, playing the result. Man, he should have gone for 2 after an incredible play, one of the most amazing plays we've ever seen in the NFL. But they also, you forget, they were down. They had 4 downs to get a touchdown in the drive prior, ran 3 times, okay, and then threw a terrible pass between 2 people. So it's like, it's tough.
Don't run the
they
ball
keep telling me to drop the cable,
unless
Dan,
it's with your superhero quarterback. Boot him out and put pressure on the defense. 2.5 yards is what you need. Glory.
I agree. Finally, with Damashek.
The thing that I find would have been just great for whatever their next 10 years are together, because Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams give Chicago hope that it has never had in its franchise's history, because they know they have a quarterback. It's just a great sentence to a statement to give your quarterback here. I trust you with these 2.5 yards and this season more than I trust anything else in the world here. Because in the commentary I was listening to, and Ross Tucker does a great job on these games, what I was listening to Ross Tucker say, and it's accurate, throughout the game he is saying Caleb Williams is going to be special and magical at the end. He's going to be special and magical at the end. The Bears have never had a quarterback who's that. This is the first quarterback. So give him the ball, give him the game, give him the season. We need 2.5 yards. If I told the Bears before the season, 2.5 yards for your season against the MVP of the league, do you want the ball, or do you want to start playing with all sorts of numbers and randomness in overtime?
You don't do it, Dan. You're exactly right. Listen, there are 2 basic groups of quarterbacks, high-end quarterbacks. There are the assassins, who are Tom Brady. Now, people call them game managers, which is dismissive and marginalizes them. They are assassins, lethally accurate, calculated in their decision-making. Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and now Brock Purdy. On the other side, you have the gunslingers, Favre, Roethlisberger, Elway. That's why I call Caleb Williams Emo Elway. He's going to spray the ball around. He's going to be inaccurate. He is going to cause trouble that he is then going to dig your team out of. He is like Josh Allen. He is like Matthew Stafford. In that spot, one play, and you see the downside of Caleb Williams in overtime. He threw the interception that ultimately...
Well, he's inaccurate.
Is this Damashek segment?
Football America is the name. We're coming to you right now.
Here?
Football America Mondays and Fridays.
Good stuff there from
Caleb Williams has the worst completion percentage among starters. He is inaccurate. But let's go out to Tony. He's at La Casa de los Trucos. Do you have any OLIs?
Thank you, Dan. Just one OLI for this divisional round matchups. You ready?
I'd like you walking around through the two tight quarters there, if it's okay. Is that a bad idea for me to increase the degree of difficulty so we can walk around with you?
No, at all, Dan. I'm gonna just kind of pull stuff off the shelves as I see fit. So this one, little clown, payasito.
Little clown, yeah, for Brad Williams.
It's funnier when it has the adjective in the front, little. Okay. All right, OLI. Bo Nix breaking his ankle on a kneel down. Hey, you got to gut through that one. Okay. Shavers, the guy from the Bills, played an entire half of the torn ACL. Like, you got to gut through. You want to be a legend? This is what legends are made of. You got to put a boot, a cast, I don't care what you do. You got to be out for the AFC Championship.
Why are they already ruling him out? Like, you don't want to try practice a couple days?
By the way, Bo Nix did not hurt his ankle kneeling a football.
No, I think it's the centering of the ball. When he says the second to last play, are we talking about the second to last play?
They're talking from the line of scrimmage.
No, it was the sweep left, that run play to the left. I'm telling you, it was not on any
It's a
kneel.
de facto kneel, though. It's a de facto kneel because he's trying to center the ball and he's also trying to run the clock.
Yeah, you're talking
about not the kneel down.
It's not that play,
Tony.
It was the play before.
I don't know about that.
Guys, I know it's a de facto kneel. You're not listening to me. It's
Tony,
a de facto
you're
kneel
not
down of what
listening.
they were
It's
doing,
the
trying to
play
run the clock.
before the de facto kneel down. That's the play he hurt
Jesus
himself.
Christ. Okay. All right, number 5. It was never Josh Allen's time. I told you earlier on when we were actually at the overpass where Scarface happened, that Revenga scene. I told you Josh Allen is Phillip Rivers. He'll never get to the mountaintop. He'll never win a championship. This is just now part of the lore. In an interception, should have been a catch, should have been a pick. We don't know. Bo Nix breaks his ankle. Like, who knows? Josh Allen, never his time, Dan. All right, let's walk a little bit here.
Number 4.
Number 4. Let's see. What do we like off the shelves here? We got some maracas. Number 4, Dan. Seahawks may win a Super Bowl without a QB, which is crazy. Sí, ¿qué tenemos aquí? Oh, ¿puedo coger esto?
Oh, what happened? One of those snap and pops? You got a snap and pop? What got you?
It's a snap and pop, but it was a Newport box of cigarettes for Rose.
Oh.
But here, I'm going to take this one right here. Hey! They call it Casa los Trucos.
That's right. There are tricks everywhere.
Encienda la luz. Let me see here.
What does that turn on? What is that? If you pull on that, what happens
I don't know.
there?
It's going to shock the shit out of me.
It releases the gimp from the basement.
Damn! It shocked the shit out of me. I hate those. Number 3.
He's a showman.
He knew it was going to shock him, so he pulled it?
That's right. That's what happened. He knew what it was, and he was scared, and it did what he thought it was going to do.
See if it shocks you again. I think if you pull it, not every time, it may not. I don't know.
No, I know what this is. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to play around with it.
I love this.
I know what this is. All right, so. Sí, dame. See? I got you, man. Hey! Sorry, guys.
The fart machine.
Oh, Casa los Trucos. Anything can happen, Dano, including a fart machine.
High tech, though. It's not a whoopee
cushion. Did that guy just tell you to bend over? Were you just told to lean over to simulate?
Mic your butt, Tony. Mic your butt.
Simulate farting. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Classic.
We're doing comedy. Comedy.
Whoa.
All right, number 3. Oh, Jesus Christ. I heard a lot of calls for Davis Mills over the Sunday here. Ball knowers knew, Dano. Ball knowers knew. I tried to tell you guys.
Dang.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, Davis Mills, he's not that bad." And C.J. Stroud was worse. Number 2,
nothing like a chubby kicker wearing 92 deciding an incredible game with love handles and a beer gut. They went out to him on the sideline, and I'm like, who is that guy? It's Mervis, their kicker. He's like, God, he looks what Dan would look like, much smaller, much more compact.
Whoa.
But my bad. He looks like what Zaz would look like with pants and a football jersey on. Is Zaz there? Does he have a pulse?
Number one.
Yes, whatever, man.
He's
why
here.
do you have to count on me to carry your bits?
Number one.
Number one, Dan, we spoke about it earlier. Let's move a little bit further here. Number one, we spoke about it earlier. Caleb Williams. There's really nothing we could say outside of the terrible interception he threw to end the game. Aside from the terrible interception that he threw to end the game, it was one of the most incredible plays that I had ever seen. And I was sitting on the couch, and I just kept saying, oh, my God. The fact that he was running full sprint away from his own end zone for about 20 yards, the defensive linemen were like, what is he doing? Do we chase him? Do we not? All of a sudden turns around, throws a perfect fadeaway, maybe a little bit of a push off by Cole Kmet. I say play on. But a perfect throw ends up going, 50 yards in the air, a 14-yard touchdown. It was one of the most incredible plays we've ever seen. It sucks that it happens in a loss, but as Dan Meshek will probably tell you, you need these bumps and bruises along the road to make sure that you are ready to get to the level of winning a Super Bowl. And sometimes you can't get there without a couple bumps and bruises. This is the bumps and bruises that Caleb Williams needs to maybe take that next step next year. So an incredible play by a guy who I was not super sold on to begin the year, but as he's gotten better and better through Ben Johnson's offense, it's been an incredible just upscaling from everything that he's done from a football perspective. So if there's anything you want down here at Casa Los Truco, I can bring you back something, Dan. If you want me to bring you the buzzer thing that lit me up, I can do that. If you want the fart machine, I can do that.
Yeah, go ahead and buy the fart machine. Bring it back. I'm sure we'll have some uses for it. And I have your clothes. I haven't tried it on. The clothes you bought for me, I will be wearing tonight at the live stream. All of the Cuban clothes that you bought for me, I will be wearing that tonight while you're at Dead Flamingo.
Yes, I heard from a little birdie that you didn't think I actually bought the clothes. You were like, wait, he bought the clothes? Like, yeah, no, I bought the clothes, Dan. I'm like, you're going to be dressing like you should be dressing, to be honest. It should be the way that you should be dressing all the time. And you chose not to. Let's come around the corner here. Let's see what else is going on. How about this, Dan?
Masks. Here, go ahead and put on one of those masks. But before you do that, I just want to play for you the highlight of this segment for us and for me, and what we will remember from that segment. Go ahead and play it.
Bo Nix breaks his ankle like. Nix breaks his ankle like. Yeah. That would rank like 6th or 7th on things that Zaz messed up this past week. Bo Nix breaks his ankle like.
What happened with that Angus in the middle of there? Why was there an Angus in the middle of there?
Bo Nix breaks his ankle like. What? Because I saw the lady. I saw the lady getting ready to get me with the shocking thing, and I didn't want to get there eventually, so I had to I knew the thing on the chain was going to shock me, and I was like, I really don't want to get there, and she was kind of waving me like, hey, come on, like, let's do it, and then I'm like,
she's a trickster.
Well, this sounds like you were tasered.
Bo Nix breaks his ankle like.
If an announcer during the Broncos game was trying to talk about Bo Nix and I came in and tasered him, it would sound like this.
Bo Nix breaks his ankle like.
Let me hear Zaz's mess up. Was Zaz's worse than? Was it worse than Tony's?
Didn't you want to know how that? What were the kids doing?
Oh, come on, it's not even close.
Give me the other one.
Not even close.
The Packers win or the Bears lose.
Oh yeah. Terrible.
So it's a new week. Why don't we come up with some new material?
Even speak, dude.
Dead Flamingo is where Tony will be tonight. He takes the party with him, so enjoy that. And we will be doing live stream all night tonight during the national championship game. Thank you, Tony. You were the MVP of last week. Appreciate it. We will talk to you. He mentioned the Caleb Williams interception. DJ Moore stopped running on that. He wasn't supposed to stop running. He just stopped his route because he knew it was covered. But I want to go back to the Davis Mills point that he made, because I heard – I think it was Swagoo who was saying you got to consider at halftime of that game benching C.J. Stroud. And if you consider that, you're announcing to everyone, including C.J. Stroud, that you're done with him as your quarterback going forward because he's still young. Like, he's got bumps and bruises. You've got to learn from how sloppy he was in this. He's the reason that defense isn't going to play for a Super Bowl. That defense is extraordinary. That defense totally suffocated the Patriots, but could not overcome its own quarterback.
They have an interesting decision now this offseason because he's going into year number 4, which is usually when you pick up that 5th-year option. So, like, what are they going to do? Are we picking up the 5th-year option? Are we signing him to the extension? Houston's got some. They have a delicate decision to make.
Is it fair, Damashek, as the host of Football America? No Schultz, no Nico Collins. Not a small loss to not have Trent Brown. Literally not a small loss. 6'8", 380 pounds. You can't bench him there, can you? You can't go to Davis Mills when your offense is already that limited.
You definitely cannot, unless we learn in the coming days, nay, hours, that there was something wrong with C.J. Stroud. Because if you look at how he also played on Monday night in Pittsburgh, I mean, he couldn't take snaps. I feel like we're going to hear, he had a little surgery on his wrist, something like that, because he just was fundamentally not like.
That's what I thought Stafford's problem was last night. Like on the broadcast, I kept hearing them. I don't know why Stafford's missing all these throws. His hand was busted up from last week. The throwing hand can't be busted up.
If it's not that, though, it's very similar to me to the 2017 Jaguars. They thought we're pretty close because we have this mighty defense and we think we have the answer. We used a high first to get the QB, which we have to solve. And now we think solved it. And we can win games in the NFL by kind of sort of hiding this guy or not making him the key feature of whether or not we win games. That was what the Jags did. They went forward with. They were high on their own supply and said, let's get over the hump with Blake Bortles. And they could have taken Lamar Jackson out of Louisville. Instead, they took defensive lineman from Florida, Taven Bryan, and that didn't work out so well. So it is an if there's nothing wrong with C.J. Stroud, this is just who he is now in big spots, then I do think you have to consider moving on, to Zaz's point, at a big time to decide on his contract.
He was so good. Maybe the best we've ever seen a rookie quarterback 2 years ago. And he, not only is he not progressed from that, but like he hasn't even been that again.
So I want to get to the University of Miami game. I am done with football on the professional level for the rest of the show because we have what Zaz is correctly calling a possible forever night tonight. And I'm trying to come up with a time that South Florida has felt the way that it does right now. I know that Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final is obviously enormous, especially after the Panthers had blown a 3-0 lead. But hockey is not embraced by every segment of our community in South Florida. Hockey is not the sport in America that football is. For Miamians, one of the lasting memories of Hall of Famer Jason Taylor's career here, he was a rose growing in a sewer during the years that he was here. His excellence largely wasted because they never had a quarterback, was the scene in losing locker rooms of him just broken in front of his locker when they let the media in. And I saw it again and again and again where he would just be what Josh Allen was yesterday, crushed in front of his locker.
And Tua laughs on the sideline.
It is super rare for a Hall of Famer to say, you know what I want to do? I'm going to be the defensive line coach on a college team. I'm going to keep going to college practices and try and make sure that college kids are listening to me. Usually, the Hall of Famers want to start at the top of the food chain. They don't want to. Marshall Faulk was a running back coach for Deion Sanders, but it's usually pretty rare.
I mean, how about even before that? Wasn't he the secondary coach at Aquinas? Wasn't even the head coach.
It's becoming more common. Jason Witten was hired as the tight ends coach for Oklahoma just a couple weeks ago. I honestly think it's kind of like the Deion effect, where you saw him go back to college, have so much success, and however you want to define that. But I think it's becoming and I think there's more money in college football now, and it's sort of opened up the floodgates, which I'm excited for because I think it kind of makes the sport a little more approachable for people.
Also, in those first two examples, like Jason Taylor was at Aquinas when Mason Taylor was there, so he was there coaching his kid. and then Dion started in coaching his son as well. So there is that tie, but then it's continued. And Witten is not an example of that.
But you say what she's right when she says there's more money in college football. You see that Oregon's quarterback and Ole Miss's quarterback, they want to stay in college instead of going to the pros, even though they're going to be top picks. But here's Jason Taylor after the win against Ole Miss talking about the idea of bringing a championship back to Miami.
You played a lot of football in that stadium you guys are going back to. What would it mean to bring a championship in football in South Florida?
Yeah, you're damn right. To get a chance to play for a championship, or not me playing, but watch my guys play, because they got nothing to do with me. But it's a blessing, man. I'm happy for the players. You know, my time in the sun is over, so I get to sit back and live through the 17 guys in my room and 120 guys on this team, and I'm blessed to do it. So I'm excited for them. You know, guys like Bain and Mesidor and Ahmad Moat and those guys that are here from the beginning, when we were lacking in a lot of things, and they fought their butts off to get to this point.
Lucy, Mendoza gets rid of the ball a lot slower, and when I say a lot slower, it's a second slower than Trinidad Chambliss. Your thoughts on the advantage that Miami's defensive line may or may not have against Indiana's offensive line?
I don't want to go like too far with it, because Indiana, as Miami has a great offensive line, as does Indiana. Like Fernando Mendoza usually stays protected in this. I just think he's so accurate with what he does that's what my concern is. If you get pressure on Mendoza, are you going to mess with that accuracy? Because he has been pressured this season. Ohio State has a good defense. Iowa has a good defense. I just think people are underestimating how good Indiana's line is and how good Indiana's receivers are, because he can throw it anywhere and they're going to go out and make that
And
catch.
the other factor is that I'm not sure cynically will carry over to the next level for him, but he can run away from pressure, and people regularly forget about that. He is a factor with his legs.
Yes, he's an athlete, but when Indiana played on the road at Iowa, they were held to 20 points.
We do that to everybody, though. Let's go.
When Indiana played on the road against Ohio State, they were held to 13 points.
That was a home game for Indiana.
Forgive me.
It was in Indianapolis, so
forgive me. I confused that in the Penn State game. They scored 27 at the very end against Penn State.
C-A-N-E-S-K! Yeah, boy, Sedano!
Sedano is in town. Yeah. He is doing his local Los Angeles show, and he is bringing the extra Cuban in here.
You guys got anything like that?
Same time slot I used to be in on 710 ESPN in Los Angeles. Sedano came in and thieved like the night. About 20 years after I left.
You have to be careful with those Cubans. They will steal
Does
it
Indiana
from
have anything as cool as that, what we just did? I don't think so.
They do.
What do they got?
I think it's
Are
fun.
you kidding me?
What's their
the thing I will say about the U is that is a cool sort of corner of tradition and otherwise. It feels to me like the alumni are prouder of the Canes than any. I don't want to get hyperbolic, but is that accurate to say? I don't think at the player level there's more puff your chest out among ex-players than we're seeing right now from the Canes.
Yeah. I thought you meant in general, and I was about to be like, no, like, look at Dan. He really doesn't seem that excited.
Yeah,
but
the
then
alumni
you said
don't
players,
care.
and I said, okay, yeah, they really care.
If you're talking fans, most people didn't go there, but the athletes, spot on.
Jason Taylor was also once in my childhood home, the home that I grew up in. Many moons later, my mom was trying to sell the house, and Jason Taylor brought his mom over to take a look at it to see if she might be interested in Pittsburgh, PA. They
Final
said
penalty,
no.
2 minutes for a shit contribution.
I disagree with that one.
Dave Damashek will be with us throughout the live stream tonight.
I'm not going. Chris Cody.
No,
I don't think he's an official. I don't think he's in a position to assign penalties.
Going's not allowed. You got to respect the call of the official. Getting back to what it is that I was saying, though, Lucy, about the...
I'm standing up for Buffalo. I'm not going to stand for the call.
You have to leave, and if you don't leave, you will be punished in a way much more serious than just a little penalty that goes for 2 minutes.
Yeah, Dan will look at you naked like he did with Zaz.
You have to respect. You have to respect the call.
We got some breaking news here, Dan. Tonight, you know, you thought all eyes were on Hard Rock Stadium until you found out that Matthew Tkachuk returns tonight for your two-time Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. That's right. Chucky in the lineup, season debut.
Our hero. Lucy, as I was saying, the total in the game tonight, last I checked, was 48.5. I suspect that most people would assume it'll be a game more like Iowa and Ohio State against Indiana. When I talk about Indiana having a good offensive line, but Miami also having an excellent defensive line, are you not expecting Mendoza to look more like he looked against Iowa when they scored 20 points and Ohio State when they scored 13, given that those defensive lines are comparable to Miami's, but I don't think as good as Miami's?
I don't think that I do think he's not going to look like he did against Oregon, but what I took away from that Iowa game, that Ohio State game, is even though he was not like the most active factor in what was happening in those games, when there was the moment that Fernando Mendoza needed to do something, he did it. That late pass against Ohio State, the late one against Iowa, he was accurate, he was on time. The two ones against Penn State that are still just like unbelievable, like crazy plays. Those were his Heisman moments. Every single time you've had to rely on Mendoza, he has delivered. I think that's sort of an interesting aspect when you're looking at the Miami side of things, because recently that has been the case for Carson Beck, but that has not always been the case for Carson Beck. When Mendoza, from start to finish this season, the second that Indiana needed him to win, he did. I don't necessarily know if that's always the same case with Carson Beck, who has looked better lately and did that against Ole Miss. It's just a very interesting quarterback matchup.
Ole Miss is the only time he has done
Exactly.
that. It's the only time he's been asked to do it, and it's the only time that he has done it. And I don't know how much confidence Hurricane fans had in him being able to do it after Ole Miss scored with 3 minutes late. And I think part of the thing that comes into play, and it is not irrelevant, it's hugely important, it's the wear and tear of how a defense feels after 4 quarters of being manhandled, 7 yards a carry, physically outclassed by 50 pounds per position along the offensive and defensive lines.
And I think that's important to mention the type of games Miami has had to play in the playoff, which have all been, pretty much slugfests. And Indiana has not had to play those. Every game they've played has been over by halftime, which is just absolutely an insane sentence to say. And I still sit here, this whole trip this weekend for me has just been me walking around going, I can't believe Indiana is here. Like, none of this feels real to me at all.
Lucy, I keep saying about it, if you would have said to me at any point in the last, since I started at IU, they will beat the mighty Alabama Crimson Tide in the Rose Bowl. They will hammer them there. They're going to beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. They're going to beat Oregon twice and manhandle them in doing so. I would say, boy, that would be great if they could do those things in the next 40 years. They did it. They did it in 1 month. It's crazy, but I'm also happy, to your point. I get how the postseason has gone for them. I'm thankful from the Hoosier side that they were tested at Iowa and at Penn State, because the cross sports, I always think of the Houston Cougars against NC State in the 83 college basketball. They were never tested, and all of a sudden it's got to be a stunning feeling like, oh my God, we really might lose a game. Thank goodness they've at least experienced that somewhere along the way.
No, I agree with that. I think that was part of the issue last season, was they didn't really have anybody on their schedule last year, so they play Ohio State, they get beat pretty badly, and then you finally have a close game against Notre Dame and you don't win. This year they have experience with close games, and they've played a tougher schedule, like not playoff-wise, but in general a tougher schedule than Miami. You beat Oregon twice, you beat Penn State, who I know didn't have a great season, but like still a talented team. Ohio State, Iowa, like this is a very like tested Indiana team who has beaten teams by a lot of points and also like been able to escape, and that all comes down to the way Mendoza played in those like clutch moments for Indiana. So like if you're looking at this game and you're just going, what quarterback do I believe in more? It's got to be Mendoza in this situation.
I know we're talking about the home field advantage for Miami, but Dan, you worried at all about the weather? Because it's going to be cold. This is all of a sudden that home field advantage gone.
It's
temperature
like
in the 50s.
Yeah, it's like the Rams going into Chicago.
This is crazy.
The weather favors Indiana.
Malachi Toney playing in a game where the weather's in the 50s. Miami maybe should be a little bit worried about their own weather.
Dan, very
God, not on
quickly,
their
a
side.
quick question, because I was contemplating this. If the Bears had won that game last night, do they say dispatch the plan, get rid of the dome idea? We're done with that. Do you see the advantage that being in the cold provided us?
Is it going to be a dome?
Yes, they're doming it. It's a ridiculous thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to distract from the big game tonight.
It's going to be cold, Damashek. It's going to be cold tonight. 57 degrees.
Eek.
That's like warm to Indiana. That's like summertime.
Exactly.
we are on the precipice when Damashek says what he is saying here about in what world do you have us beating Oregon twice and Penn State and Ohio State and then Miami. We're on the precipice of two things. Not only Indiana producing the single best and most surprising season in the history of college football, but also being forever the spot on where we can all say how NIL and money changed everything and changed it like that. Because the idea that that program with a century of failure on its resume would go through a run like that, only money explains it. Like you could give the credit to Cignetti, you could give the credit to Mendoza if you want, but the NIL money changing everything is the only thing that allows a program with this kind of pedigree, which is no pedigree, to run through the gauntlet that it's run through.
I think that is kind of like scariest part of all of this is this will be Kurt Cignetti's least talented Indiana team. Because if you look at what Indiana has done in the portal this year, it's them and Texas Tech. It's no one else. They have made an absolute killing, and it's a lot of it is money. It's something like a little stat that we hear on all the broadcasts is that Indiana has the largest alumni base in the country. So
is that true?
They say it all the time. I've heard that about Michigan, so I was like, how true is this? I think they count like the Indiana satellite campuses and other towns, but they have so many alumni.
And they all have oil money? How do they have so much money?
Mark
Indiana
Cuban
doesn't have oil money, but
a healthy media empire. Jane Pauley on down.
It's interesting to see. It's something I've kind of been looking into, and I'm going to look more into in the offseason, is the way that these better academic schools are performing more, because Indiana's got a top 10 business school. So when you look at the SEC, who academically
Journalism
really isn't, up to what an Indiana, Michigan is, you can kind of see the difference in how much money is pouring into these different programs, which I think is really kind of fascinating that we are sort of having to factor in the school stuff now, which we never really had to do before. But yeah, Indiana's entire run is two factors. It's, hey, they have money, they've spent money. And I think people forget, I don't believe Mark Cuban was giving money to Indiana before this season. He didn't give any money. Yeah, he didn't give them any money last year. He did this year. I think it was a blank check this year. But it's all Kurt Cignetti, what he's been able to do, which will be studied forever. Kurt Cignetti has permanently changed. He'll be a Hall of Fame coach. He might be the greatest coach of all time for what he's done for that Indiana team. But he has made college football a lot more difficult for everybody else now. He's made it tougher for other schools because you are all going to want what he's done, and I don't think you can replicate it. And it's people who don't watch the sport, I can't emphasize enough how truly dog shit Indiana was. They were so unbelievably bad. The fan base.
We went 8-3 a couple of times when I was there with Bill Mallory.
A pinstripe bowl was the peak. Everyone would have been thrilled with
Everyone will be reminded
They
tonight.
would have built him a statue for 8-4.
Juju Gotti's going to be here in a few minutes for the post-game show in order to talk about what it is that happened to his Bills. We're going to be doing a shorter show here because we're going to give you another show at night. We're going to go 3 or 4 straight hours. Live stream tonight. Tony will be at Dead Flamingo. Got a whole host of surprises for you and guests, and we're gonna do it big on what is a giant game in the history of South Florida, any sport. Let's hear from Ruben Bain here, though, on the tears are a big story today with Josh Allen and Deion Dawkins and Brandon Cooks crying in the Bills locker room. Here's Ruben Bain telling you he's crying either way.
I was actually sitting on the bench at practice with my dad 2 days ago. I told him I'm going to cry. No matter the outcome of the game, I know I'm going to cry because it's really my last game. And it's been a long but quick 3 years, spending all my time here at Miami. And it's like a fairy tale story for me because I get to start it off at Hard Rock to end it at Hard Rock. So I'm going to cry. I know I'm going to cry.
Folks, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 sports book for live betting, is turning up the stakes this NFL playoffs. Each Sunday, every DraftKings customer has a shot at over $2.5 million in prizes. Open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app and opt in. Place a live bet of just $1 or more on Sunday's playoff games, and every live bet gets you another chance to win. The more you bet, the more entries you stack all Sunday long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use code DAN. Bet live for your share of $2.5 million in prizes with code DAN. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.